Welcome back to Spooky Saturday, bitch.
Welcome back. We're here together. You, me, the Hools, the rest of Hoolville. I mean, that is the Hools. But welcome together on the month of the 31 days of Halloween. There's 31 days of this month.
30 days.
30. This week, we are on the subreddit r/LetsNotMeet.
Big fan of this subreddit. It's got some good stories.
This is the first time that I have been on this subreddit, so thank you for introducing it to me.
Hell yeah, no, thank you for showing me that thread that reminded me of the subreddit.
The subreddit that you love so much that you just forgot about.
Yes.
Thank you all so much for all the lovely comments on the recent Spooky Saturday video. I know that this month we're doing a lot of horror-related things, and not everybody is into it. But I'm very glad that people like the last one.
So my first story, it's by user Butt Secrets. The title is "Masked Paper Bag Person Surveils My Husband and I." All right, y'all ready?
Masked paper bag salesman?
Person.
What? Person? Oh.
Masked paper bag person. So this only happened yesterday and it's been driving me crazy. It's not as wild as other stories on here, but it's by far one of the creepiest things that's ever happened to me. So my husband and I are walking home from having a beer at the local pub around 6 p.m. In terms of setting the scene, we live in a small New Zealand town. What's with New Zealand? We're reading a lot of New Zealands.
The only people on Reddit are from New Zealand.
Yeah, You're right. We live in a small New Zealand town. Population is around 2,000 people. That's a real mixed bag in terms of residents. Older folk, meth heads, low income, but increasingly commuters from our capital city have been settling here. We fall into the latter category. It's spring here, so with still plenty of light, and we're just chatting as we walk the 10 minutes or so home. About 3 minutes into the walk at the first intersection on our walk, I spot a cat sitting on the fence of one of the corner houses on the other side of the street from us. I say meow, and it meows back. I also would say meow. It then starts stalking a bird, so my husband and I continue watching this house. The cat, really, as we walk past. Suddenly, a person with a brown paper bag mask on their head kind of stumbles out of the front door of this house into the yard. Their mannerisms and how they're moving are so strange, but not what I'd associate with being drunk. The house itself seems completely dead, so there's no party on or anything. The person then turns to us and makes eye contact. Well, the eye holes in the mask are staring at us. And they slowly
Don't look at me with your holes.
Don't look at me with your eye holes. And they start slowly backing away to the front door alcove of the house and disappear from view into the alcove. We've been slowly walking this whole time, and at this point I have literal goosebumps and an intense sense of dread. When I write it down, it sounds so silly, but there was something so creepy about this person. We're still looking as we walk past the house, and the paper bag face slowly emerges from the alcove, watching us before disappearing from view again. As we walk and get further and further away, we keep turning around to look, and the same thing happens over and over again. Nothing, and then slowly but surely, the paper bag face emerges out to watch us. This continued until we were at the end of the street, some 350 meters, and meters. Let's calm down. And rounded the corner out of sight. It still makes my skin crawl thinking about it. My husband laughed and said it was probably some kid getting ready for Halloween or fucking with us. And he's probably right. But I had to keep turning around to watch my back the rest of the walk home because I was so creeped out. Now imagine that. Just walking down the road at night, and you see a man with a brown paper bag mask just stalking you.
I
don't know how I would feel about that.
Well, I mean, I know how I'd feel about that.
It'd be pretty spooky.
Yeah, I would. I'd probably try and throw rocks at it.
Not rocks.
Gotta get that paper bag off that head somehow.
You're not wrong. But yeah, that's really fucking creepy, and I would start running.
Did they not run?
No, they were just saying they were walking.
The husband needs to turn around and just be like,
Oi!
Run away! Like, chase after him. Like, he's chasing off a bear. Is there more to that story?
No, that's it.
Oh, that was boring.
Well, I'll go kill myself then. Sorry about that. God damn. All All right, so my next story, it's by user... It's by user Apo_Calix. The title is, This Isn't My Cat Meowing at the Door. A bit of context first. My cat likes to go outside every day in the morning. He follows us to the door, takes the elevator down with us, and then goes about his day outside until we bring him back home again in the evening. That's dangerous.
Yeah,
That's very dangerous.
I've met so many cats that are dashers, where the second a door is open, they will make it their life goal
to get on out of there.
Get out of that door. Go through that door before it's shut.
Yeah, no, it's pretty spooky. So many things can happen to kitties outside, guys. Like, don't do that. Now, my cat isn't the most punctual guy, so it's pretty common for him to stay much later in the neighborhood. Sometimes well into the night or for several days. No! Or he gets bored and doesn't play for more than 2 hours and wants to get back inside. The problem is that we're not home, so he just has to wait. My family and I live in an apartment on the first floor, so my cat's solution is to sit under one of our balconies and meow at the top of his lungs to get our attention. When we're home, it works perfectly fine, but when we're not, it's less effective. So our solution was to gently ask our neighbors that have the key to our apartment to bring him up so he doesn't have to wait outside all day. Those that don't have the key sometimes let him inside the building so he's not literally outside. For example, when it's raining. Our apartment is a bit special because it's bigger than the others, so to get inside, there are 2 ways when you get in the main hall. 1, take the stairs to the left and open the door that has 2 locks, or 2, use the elevator with a special key that goes directly inside our apartment, and the door only has 1 lock. The cat is used to the second option, and me too because we're both lazy, but when the neighbors that don't have the key let him inside the building, he goes up the stairs and waits. Since I usually use the elevator from the parking, 2 floors below, that means I don't see him waiting in the hall, and he meows outside the door to get me to open up for him, or my dad or my mom. All around, we have our habits with my parents and neighbors, and it works fairly well. Now you know how everything goes with my little guy. Anyway, here's what happened a while ago. My parents like the outdoors very much, so I'm usually left alone in the weekends. Generally, it means taking care of the chores and inviting my friends over so we can have the apartment to ourselves, which is pretty nice. This time I was alone, it was late, 11 p.m.-ish, and I was chilling in the living room before hearing meowing over the sound of the TV. Someone let my cat in the building and he's waiting outside the door. I took my keys and started opening the first lock. I don't know about other pet owners, but I know my cat meows by heart. It's kind of a rising meow. That's very high-pitched.
I'm just imagining every crazy cat lady out there that actually meows to their cat, like, constantly.
Listen, I talk to my cat. When she meows, I'm like, meow. You can get fucked. I'm sorry, I have the love of an animal. That's very high-pitched and very cute, and that also has a specific rhythm because I've been hearing it nearly every day for 5 years. So I stopped. The noise isn't what it actually is. It's too deep and just off. This isn't my cat outside my door, and he's the only cat around that knows he has to wait by the door and scream to be let inside. By that point, I had stopped halfway through opening the door and waited to hear him again and noticed scratching. My cat never scratches the door. At that point, I'm super weirded out by the situation, but the meowing is getting super loud, and I didn't want the neighbors to be woken up. So I continued with my key, but suddenly I heard another noise that freaked me out. A cough. For the record, I'm not a very cautious person, and in my whole 21 years of living in this apartment, I must have looked in the peephole a total of maybe 5 times. But a small part of my brain told me to do it that night, and thank God I did. So I let go of my keys and put my eye against the door and saw it. A man standing there. Fucking meowing in front of my door. To say that I was terrified is really an understatement, but my heart stopped. I just stood there petrified for what felt like an hour. I don't really know how long it took for me to move again, but eventually my body just took over, I guess. I did what you'd...
Is there a description of this man?
Not so far. I did what you'd expect. Ran for my phone, stood in the corner of the living room, and called the police. By the time they came, there was nobody in front of the door. I can't even remember when the meowing stopped, and they just took my testimony before telling me to be cautious and left. To this day, I still don't know what that meowing guy wanted. I'm not sure I want to anyway. I also don't know how he got inside the building since you need a key to access it, and how he knew that I would open the door if he imitated my cat in front of it. At least I will be careful from now on. And my cat eventually came back since then. He's sleeping in my bed as I'm writing this.
Plot twist, the cat is a shapeshifter, and that creepy... I know there was no description of the man, but I'm imagining, like, a really old, creepy man.
Yeah, no. regardless, just seeing a man trying to imitate your cat. Ooh.
That
ooh.
immediately sent like a tiny chill up my spine. That was
hard pass.
vile.
Feral, as one would say.
Feral.
Fuck off. All right, it's your time to shine.
All right, is it? All right.
Spook me.
All right. God, now there's so much pressure. Have you ever lived somewhere where, like, maybe you've been by yourself and you come back and you have some suspicion that there was somebody in the house or that there is someone in the house?
Yeah.
And you just don't know?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody that's ever had that experience, pause this video right now, go into the comments, and then leave a little detailed story.
Pause this video, go look around your house, and make sure there's nobody inside your house.
Report back, tell us what you found. All right. Someone just comes back.
Hey guys, I found someone? What's going on?
BRB. My first post here is by user Heidi Jones 121. I just knew something was off. The police just left my home. A couple of months ago, while house sitting / dog sitting for my parents, I had an eerie feeling. As an obsessive ID channel watcher and younger female, I played it off as paranoia. During these few days, whenever I took the dog out, he suddenly began sniffing areas he had never sniffed at before, particularly under each of our windows. And thankfully, it's because of him that I discovered 2 larger footprints under a window that looks directly into our living / dining room. Around the same time, about 2 months ago, I noticed a man walking up and down our street that I'd never seen in the entirety of my life. Small, Midwestern town. He also had, in my opinion, odd mannerisms, prolonged eye contact, continued staring and craning his neck as he walked by, and never returned my smiles, hellos, or waves. Eventually, I became irritated due to how creeped out I was. Eventually, I became...
Sorry. Irritated due to how creeped out I was. You ever just get mad because you're scared?
Yeah, actually, like when I'm trying to sleep at the end of, like when I was younger, I don't find, it's not hard for me to sleep after horror movies anymore.
Same.
I remember you and I watched, what was that movie?
I think it was Insidious.
It wasn't Insidious. It was
that
the
other
cop
one.
movie.
Yeah. Oh, damn. All right. Malum?
Malum, yes,
Malum.
we watched Malum, and I remember saying, "Oh, okay, well, I need to go watch something happy now," and then I immediately went to bed.
Immediately passed out.
But when I was younger, I used to have a very hard time falling asleep after scary movies, especially if I had to go up and go pee.
Oh,
in the middle of the night.
Sometimes I'd be a little scared when I have to go up to pee, like because I watch a lot of true crime to sleep. And
yeah.
So
I mean,
when
like,
I
that
get
stuff
them,
actually
like,
happened.
Yeah.
So you don't know, there might be a murderer in your house.
Murderer.
So, everyone pause this video right now. Go down into the comments.
Once again, go look around your house. Let us know what you find.
If you got murdered, let us know. Eventually, I became irritated due to how creeped out I was with both him and the eerie feeling in general and decided to wave. Upon no acknowledgement in return, other than a cold stare, I got up and acted like I was going to follow him down the street, to which made him walk faster and turn a sudden corner. Never saw him again. Now today, I help my parents out by picking up their dog from the groomers, as it's right up the street in a safe suburban area. Often at times, I don't lock the door while running errands in town.
No.
Always lock your door!
Lock your doors, guys!
When I returned home with the dog, I had an unexplained, horrible feeling the minute I walked in the door. Something, maybe a blanket, seemed misplaced. Something was off. I threw a load of... I've talked about this on the podcast before, but there was a time when I first moved into this apartment that I thought that my forks were going missing.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And I just thought one day I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night and I'm just gonna hear like a rustling in the kitchen. I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna peek out from behind my door.
It's the fork nabber.
And I'm gonna see the fork nabber just like, I'm the fork nabber.
Yes, sir.
I threw a load of laundry on in the basement and quickly stood up.
Just going right back to it. That's awesome.
I threw a load of laundry on in the basement and quickly stood up and looked around. No one there. Then I proceeded to the bathroom to check my makeup, and right then I looked down to my left and there's feces in the toilet.
Oh.
With no toilet paper and not flushed. I've been the only one home all morning. I immediately throw back the shower curtain and start shaking. And when nothing's there, I close the bathroom door and lock myself inside. I call dispatch. They arrived in less than 2 minutes. Search the entire property, make me check my laptop to see if any recent search history isn't my own, and check the fridge to see if food is missing. All valuables are accounted for. I know this isn't my feces. No one in my family would have a I'm imagining them talking to the officer, just be like, "Officer, you don't understand. This isn't my shift."
I would have wiped, I promise.
No one in my family would have a bowel movement and not use toilet paper or flush. I know someone has been here. Yet, because I love horror movies and the ID channel, they think I'm crazy. Hey dude, now I have my dad's hunting fillet knife on me, so let's not meet.
Ooh, what a filet-o-fish you.
It's actually just like one of those very tiny, like pocket knives that you have to like really pry to get open. Like it's your dad's from like the fucking 60s that you're just
like, Argh.
It's also like a corkscrew. It's also a bottle opener.
Corkscrew.
the Nature Master
There's a
500.
screwdriver in there.
Yeah. If you hook up a little battery to it, it goes.
It's a little drill.
Yeah, you ever find any strange dumps in your toilet?
I feel like that would piss me off more than someone being in my house. I'd be like, bro, like at least flush.
My first thought would definitely not be one of genuine terror or fear that,
just anger.
I'm just gonna be angry.
Like, what the fuck?
I'm gonna grab a bat and I'm just gonna go out into the middle of the house. All right, whoever you are,
who's here?
Get out here now! Beat their ass for not flushing.
Yeah, no, it's fucked up. Manners, guys. If you're gonna break into my home, at least have manners.
This next post is posted by Goddamn Leader Cola. Something's off with the new guy. I was reading a story that reminded me of an event from over 20 years ago. In the second half of 1998, I had taken a job as a security guard at a plant that made locks. Being a kid, I usually worked one of 3 shifts, 4 p.m. to 12 a.m., 7:30 p.m. to 3:30 a.m., 12 a.m. to 8 a.m.
He said, being a young kid, I thought he was gonna have like during the day or something. Was like, yeah. I'm there the entire night.
As a young kid, I worked from the prime hours of 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Like, what the
Before
fuck?
I went to the before school program.
7 a.m. to 9 a.m.?
Yeah. They can't violate child labor laws.
You're so right.
Yeah, I am. 7:30 to the 3:30 shift was for extra coverage, so there were always 2 of us there from 7:30 to midnight. It was a routine, boring job for the most part. We did our rounds, logged anything out of the ordinary, and watched a tiny monitor displaying the CCTV feed. So Five Nights at Freddy's. Things went by in an almost painfully normal manner for 6 months. I worked, saved, bought a car, and planned to move. By late March of 99, I served my notice and prepared to head cross-country. A new hire was brought in to fill my spot. A soft-spoken man named Calvin. As a part of his training, Calvin spent time working at all hours. As part of his training, Calvin spent time working at all hours. At night, he was a shadow, working with myself and the other night guard, getting a feel for the plant's nocturnal routines. Most nights, he worked with myself and Amira, a female guard who was around my age. I was 18 at the time. Calvin, who was about a decade older, was quiet and polite, though something seemed to be missing. There's a spark that genuinely nice people seem to have, and he didn't possess it.
Oh.
Whenever he went on rounds with me, he'd ask questions about the job and make small talk. I noticed that he was a little odd, laughing at odd times and changing his tone mid-sentence. At the time, I chalked it up to him being awkward. That wouldn't last. One night, near the end of his first week, he went on rounds with Amira. When they returned to the office, I knew something was wrong. Normally talkative, she would barely say a word. Not sure what had occurred. I waited until Calvin had gone to the restroom to ask. During their trip, everything had been normal until they reached the brass mill, a portion of the plant that shut down at 6 p.m. There were usually no employees there after that time and no lights. They were making their way to a checkpoint on a landing atop a flight of stairs when the mood shifted. She told me that she turned around only to find that he was right on her, Startled, she backed against the grating at the end of the landing, and he leaned in towards her, his face nearly touching hers. He flirted in a low voice, and when she mentioned his wedding band, he said it would be over soon.
Oh.
From then on, I did the rounds, taking Calvin with me each time. The night ended without further incident, and I left a note for our supervisor detailing what had occurred. The next night came and went with no Calvin. I did the rounds while Amira stayed in the locked office. Same thing the night after. Then, on my second to last shift, I come in to find her freaking out. She found out why Calvin hadn't been at work. What do you think happened?
He murdered his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he murdered his wife.
Oh my God.
He had been arrested for murdering his wife. She had been dismembered and burned. Parts of her body placed in a pond less than a mile from where we had worked. That night and the next, Amira called the jail just to make sure that they were still holding him. Based on the time frame, he had killed his wife months before he started the job. Oh, here's an article about his arrest. Oh, this is real.
Yeah, no, all these stories are real.
Oh, I can't believe I just made jokes about this.
Yeah, no, all of these stories are real.
Oh my God.
Damn, he's a real one for taking over the rounds, though. So Amira didn't have to be alone with him.
That's what a real man does.
Absolutely. He's a legend for that.
Especially that young, too.
Yeah. I'm glad he was
years
like,
old.
okay, something is wrong here, and just immediately knew. He clocked it.
Balls of steel
on
this dude.
Legend.
Well, I'm getting canceled.
Shut up, we were both making jokes, bro. That's our thing for spooky stuff. We make it more lighthearted. Yeah, but wow, fuck Calvin, bro.
Never trust someone named Calvin unless their name is Calvin Cambridge from Like Mike.
When he said, like, that'll be over soon, I was like, But then to find out he had already killed his wife.
Before he came to the job.
What do you mean it'll be all over soon then? What's going on?
Halifax County Sheriff's deputies have arrested a man in connection with the murder of his wife. I'm not going to read the names. Dude reported his wife missing last August. In November, her skeletal remains were found in a pond north of Ricky Mount. Detectives say the SBI has been analyzing evidence for months. They say there's conclusive evidence that this guy murdered his wife, burned, and did all that stuff.
Wow.
This is not an ordinary death, says Lieutenant J. Wayne Sears with the Rocky Mountain Police Department. This is beyond tragic death. This is a gruesome death. Damn. His wife was 29 years old.
What?
Fuck this guy. Yeah, when did this happen?
Does it say when the article was written?
Oh, yeah, no. Okay. Oh, wait. It said it in the thing. It said it in the...
yeah, it was like last August.
It was posted at 7 a.m. April 12th, 1999.
Oh!
Yeah, no, this is a long time ago.
Okay.
Oh, we can make jokes about this. This was a long time ago.
I know. Oh my God.
Well, on that note, we're going to end it here.
Hope you guys like these stories.
We're going to be getting together pretty soon with some friends to play Phasmophobia and some other spooky games. So we'll get that out to you guys this month as well. And we're going to continue to doing. And we're going to continue to do scary Reddit content through the rest of this month as well. So thank you guys for watching this. And where can they find you, Hool?
You can find me on any social media at Certikit. See what I'm up to. I don't post a lot, but when I do, it's good.
You post a lot about football.
I do.
Lately. Yeah, and you also got a dump. You recently posted that you got a new dumbbell set. You're gonna go to town on all the Hools.
Oh, I'm gonna be fucking jacked, dude.
I'm excited.
None of you guys are gonna be ready.
If you guys want to follow me, you can follow me on every social media at the Dairy Boy. I post a lot, probably too much. And if you want to follow the show, you can follow us on at the Daydream Arcade. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching.